Good evening once again. M.M Out There, over there, everywhere, all over the place. In this case right here. With the Apostle Limroyce Canterbury, he who contested the last two general elections in St. Peter, and by God's will shall contest a third. He's here right now. Welcome, Apostle.
Thank you again, Mr. Morris. Good to be here with you.
Very glad to have you here.
Good to be here again with you, man. It's incredible.
Okay. Now, as we all know, my shows are always based on what my subscribers and my callers tell me about. There's been a very disturbing trend. Now, Barbados was once known to be 99.9 something literate, even in the Guinness Book of World Records.
Yes, sir.
In the entire world. That seems to be not so anymore. And you're always talking about the advance of technology.
Yes, sir.
And things like that. But it might be good, but it also brings bad. As I said, there's a disturbing trend of people in Barbados being ripped off by con artists on the internet. I've had 14 complaints from my subscribers. Some of them are old people. This is why I'm going to talk about this.
Okay.
And I'm going to expose on this show some of those frauds that are doing this. And I want to get your take on this because one lady who is 65 sent 3,000 US dollars to one of these con artists who told her that she won something. She won, are you going to collect your prize? Anyhow, she had to send this 3,000 US dollars to an address to receive the prize, which was, I think, 250,000 US dollars. I mean, how could you be so gullible, right? And I don't care what they do in the other parts of the world, but when you come in and you're ripping off Barbadians, especially senior citizens, it gets to me.
Right.
And I don't like that. And throughout this show, I'm going to show you how to avoid that and the different tactics that they use so that if you have your telephone, your smartphone, and you see these things, you'll know what to do. What's your take on that?
Well, this has been happening for a long time, but let me go back to what I've always been saying here about education. You brought up a very interesting point just now about the level of our literacy here in Barbados. It's always been very high. In recent times, Barbados has, to use a term, is being dumbed down. Okay? And I think I mentioned that I spoke to a gentleman who was very close to our late Prime Minister, the excellent Errol Walton Barrow. And he mentioned that Errol Barrow never wanted free education. What he wanted was freedom through education. And this is one of the reasons why we saw in Barbados at many levels, even down to our primary school level, the education was very, very high. Okay? And what has happened in recent years in Barbados is that we've lost that. We've lost the ability because one of the main things Mr. Errol Walton Barrow wanted was for our people to be so educated that we were needed around the world. Barbados would be in a place you would come to if you needed a skilled person. You would come to Barbados for that individual. That's how we wanted things to work. We've lost that edge. Okay? We've allowed much of the Caribbean to catch up with us.
And overtake in this case, you know.
Now, in case of the situation at hand, in terms of these fraudsters online, our people must be very, very careful. The problem that we have is the need for money. See, the main issue is the need for quick money. Okay? And individuals are using this to exploit innocent persons here. And I mean, many times, sometimes my members will tell me they get this, and when they call me about it, I will tell them straight off it's a scam, forget it. In many cases here in Barbados, they're even using the names of ministers of government. They've hacked ministers of government's profile. They're using individuals names that are not even connected to the UN, to the World Bank. So top-notch individuals they're using to scam individuals. And I think our people must be very, very careful to understand that if you're told you have won a lump sum of money, the easiest thing to do is to let the person, and they're telling you, well, you won $100,000, you need to send 1,500 US to this address. The simple thing to do is to ask the person to take the 1,500 out of what you've won and send the rest to you. It's that simple.
There was this one, and this one sort of amused me. This lady, and another thing, they take people's identity, and they
yeah,
clone
once
it.
you fill that form out,
Right.
you know, this one gentleman who I actually decided that I was going to go through the process with him to see where he was going. And then finally I said to him, now you're sending me a document to fill out that is a picture. It has no letterhead on it. It has no documentation on it. It has nothing on it, no serial number from this entity you're talking about. And you're really expecting this to be considered legitimate. So these are things that you have to look at so you can spot the problems. The other thing that you need to be able to do is to read properly so that you can see where the English language in the document demonstrates that it's a fraudulent document.
But this one amused me. Now this lady is a pilot. She's a pilot. She got in contact with this guy, got his phone number somehow. She said, I read your profile, and I'm coming to your country pretty soon, and but I'm going to Italy. And she sent me these pictures on the phone with her by a plane and flying the plane and that sort of thing.
Right.
And she goes now to, she's in Bosnia now, but she's sending him these things. iPhone and speakers, 2 television, all these sort of things by DHL. But she sent them, they've gone on to Serbia, whereby a nun, a sister now.
Right.
And he has her phone number. He calls the sister and her picture comes up. She's in her, you know, the paraphernalia and everything.
Right.
And she goes to the DHL office, but she's stranded now because she doesn't have enough money to send these things.
Right.
So she needs $400 US to put with the 200 US that she has
Right.
to complete the transaction. He sent the money.
He said,
Right? The idiot, right? Sent the money.
right.
I will tell you an experience that I had. That I don't know how they got my number, but this guy called. His picture came. He's in a suit and tie and everything. White guy. If it's him, because anyhow. How are you? Okay, sir. How are you today? I'm answering him very short, you know. And he says, aren't you going to collect your prize? I said, not interested.
Right.
He sends back, well, due respect to the apostle here, but this is my show. He said, fuck you. So I text back, fuck you. Because it saves me the problem of having to find you and put a bullet in the back of your head. So he blocks me now, right? But he got the message, right? The week before someone called to and he said, not interested. No, he said, give it to somebody else. And he said, okay, sir. He was very friendly.
Right.
But this one got angry.
Yeah.
So I dealt with him. I said,
some
so
of
you
them
get
do.
a bullet in the back of your head.
Some of them do. Some
Right?
of them do.
I mean, you can only fall for these things if you, as far as I'm concerned, 3 points. And I want all my followers and who are watching this to listen. Because they will come to you. If you are gullible, meaning if you fall for certain things and don't use the common sense, if you are weak, and if you're greedy, do not expect to get these things for nothing. You cannot get you didn't enter the lottery, and if you enter the lottery, you don't have to pay anything to get it. You see these things come on your phone, ignore them, or tell them straight you're not interested. Or tell them you'll call Interpol for them. That's the international police. Another thing, the address that they give you, most likely is a postal box. It's never an address of a house or a significant address. Okay? They go by the name of, I remember, one is called Vera Miles. Veramyles, or Miles, Vera Miles. One is called Agent John. And all of these nice pictures of respectable looking people. So do not fall for these things. So any of you who fall for these things, do not complain to me anymore. I'm talking about this for the benefit of those who have already complained to me. So I'm doing the duty for you. So if it happens to anyone else after that, and you've seen what I'm talking about now, the apostle tonight, do not call me because I don't want to hear. It would mean that you are stupid. And stupidity is the downfall of most people. And we Barbadians aren't like that. Years ago they wouldn't try that. Because we were supposed to be of a level. Because this has been going on for over 50 years in different forms. But they never tried it here. But now our reputation has fallen so low that they figure that it can happen here. Years ago they wouldn't even attempt to do that to a Barbadian.
Well, I'll tell you, I met one gentleman who I just happened to be walking through Spikestone, and we stopped to talk, and I said, so what are you doing in Spikestone today? He says, well, I am going to the, he says, I'm going to the post office right now because I need to send this money to a young lady who is in a concentration camp in an African country. And so I said, she said, well, she needs this money sent to her uncle so that he can help get her out of this camp that she's in. So I said, well, how did she contact you? He said, well, she sent me an email. I said, you're not really thinking, how can a person in a concentration camp access the office of that concentration camp to create an email, to go on Google, create an email, create a profile, get on Facebook, get on Messenger, and contact you? It's virtually impossible for that to happen. So I said, don't you understand that this is a scam? So a lot of individuals, and let me go back to what I said, because of the need for money. Greed is not just something that is created on its own. It needs a component, several components. When you have hardship, when you have a lack of money, and you have a need for money, it creates greed. And whenever greed is created, it creates an open forum now for you to be exploited. And this is what we're seeing.
But I say this, with due respect to what you were saying, and I respect that, what the incident you just gave is a perfect example of gullibility.
Not thinking.
Not using your head. You're a Barbadian. You're above them. You're more educated than them. You know more than them. They have to respect you. Right? Let them send money to you. Don't send money to them. That's what you're supposed to do. Do not be a fool. Right? Do not be weak. And I just wanted, in our first part, to get that out of the way.
That's pretty good.
Because, especially our people in St. Peter, because those 14 people, 7 of them are from St. Peter. Right? And 2 are elderly people. 2 are elderly people. And I just can't stand that. Right? I'm going to expose these people, with my last breath. Because I'm not scared of them. Right? Not scared of them at all. Apostle,
yes, sir.
This is the end of part 1. Right. I think we've pretty much sent a clear message through as to what we want to talk about that. We'll be back in a few minutes with part 2. M.M Out There, over there, everywhere, all over the place, right here. We'll be back shortly. Let's make right this, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.